Presentation of this ViewFinder episode is locally supported by UC Davis Health System.
I feel like this happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, confused, and hurt in a way.
When my doctor first gave me that bit of news, I didn't accept it and I pretty much ignored it.
What triggers diabetes?
Everybody's at risk for diabetes, bottom line.
And why are doctors puzzled over the disease?
It's a silent killer. People don't always know they have this disease.
Plus, what a researcher at UC Davis has discovered.
There's about 99% similarity in the genes between mice and humans.
And how his findings could one day lead to a cure.
It would be great someday if there's a cure. I know it's going to be a long time coming, but there's promise.
Hi, I'm Jerry Reynolds. I'm one of the TV announcers for the Sacramento Kings, and I have type 2 diabetes.
As a TV and radio analyst, I use my voice to discuss the game on the basketball court. Now, I hope my voice will join others in raising awareness about a deadly disease. Diabetes kills thousands of people every year. It is the 7th deadliest disease in the nation.
On this edition of ViewFinder, we're going to take a close look at diabetes, both type 1 and type 2, and see why it's become such an epidemic. Now, while there is no cure, there is certainly hope. Let's begin by meeting a little girl named Gabrielle Zagers, whose life revolves around diabetes.
It's like a magnet that shoots lightning bolts at me. Like the lightning bolts are the pain, the magnet means it's gonna stay with me forever and ever.
10-year-old Gabrielle Zagers lives with a disease that has no cure. It could potentially be a lifetime sentence called type 1 diabetes. Gabrielle was diagnosed when she was 5 years old.
When I was 5, I was free. I could think of other things. I could think about other things. They kind of went away after diabetes.
The first symptoms surfaced one day when Gabrielle was at an amusement park. And, like a frightening roller coaster ride, the memories are still very, very vivid.
I was at Marine World. This is a week before I was diagnosed. And every half hour I had to go to the bathroom. And I was thirsty. Even the sight of one drop of water made me thirsty.
Living with diabetes means changing the way you live. It's something Gabrielle and her family just can't ignore. This is an insulin pump. She must wear it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
When I test it, kind of has to be a number in between 99 and 180. That's where I feel okay. If it's not, then I have to do something. I either correct with my pump, like give a little bit amount of insulin, or if it's low, I take some glucose, which is sugar.
She checks her sugar levels by pricking her finger as many as 10 to 20 times a day. Her blood sugar levels fluctuate wildly from high to low.
Like 120.
Gabrielle and her family are forced to pay close attention to diabetes, literally every minute of every day.
Yes. You want me just to do it for the morning, man?
For Gabrielle and her parents, diabetes never sleeps. Her father, Chris, gets up several times a night, every night, to check his daughter's blood sugars. It happens so often, Gabrielle doesn't even wake up.
You're beeping. It says you're high. So we need to... Dad just checked your blood sugar. Okay, so this says you're 316 right now.
316 is excessively high. A normal fasting reading for a non-diabetic is 100.
13 divided by 140.
To help manage her sugar levels, every piece of food is weighed and every carbohydrate is calculated.
8.8, so we're going to round that one up since the other one I rounded down.
Mini wheats.
Waffles.
Waffles, okay.
Waffles? Okay. All right.
Yeah, what are you gonna have with the mini wheats?
But one of the biggest obstacles for Gabrielle and her parents is caring for her disease away from home. And today is a tough one.
Yeah.
Be able to think very well with a sugar that high.
Now, how do you feel right now? Because you are pretty high.
I don't feel it actually for some reason. I just feel a tiny bit thirsty.
We're going to go to, hey, have a great day at school. I'll talk to you before your math test, okay? Bye. Have fun.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Gemma.
Being away from their daughter is difficult for Madeline and Chris.
We have to call Mom.
Okay, that needs to be wrapped up.
But once at school, it's this cell phone that will keep them at ease. The fourth grader calls her mom every time she checks her levels.
Okay, and Mom knows it's PE today.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, Mom.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, my blood sugar is
236.
236. Okay, can you put in to see if it will correct?
okay.
All right. Do I calibrate?
No, don't calibrate. Just see if it'll correct.
This conversation takes place over and over.
1.2.
Oh, it's giving you 1.2? Okay. All right, good. Now, how do you feel about
Today, Gabrielle called her mom 5 times.
Hello?
Hello, Mom. Hello, Mom. Hey, Mom.
And each time, she had a completely different reading.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, my blood sugar is 146.
236.
My blood sugar was 141. Again.
Pretty heavy stuff for a 10-year-old. Gabrielle is not alone. She's one of thousands of children living with diabetes in America. Most California schools provide health aides, not registered nurses. But as of November 2008, it is against the law for a health aide to administer insulin into a diabetic child.
A child could die if they have low blood sugar and it's not treated promptly.
But there is a plan in California to help students with diabetes.
Many of our students with diabetes are under a 504 plan, and it's making sure that we do things like if the child needs to have their blood sugar checked, we go into the classroom because we don't want the child having to come out of the classroom and miss that much academic time.
Diabetes can be especially hard on children. It's not just the physical effects, like wearing an insulin pump. It's the reaction from some of her classmates.
Like, I try to hide my pump so nobody gets over and says, hey, what's that? So I kind of feel nervous and like I'm different. Somebody sees it and thinks it's a Game Boy or something, and I'm like, it's not a Game Boy, it's way more important than a Game Boy. I feel like this happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, confused, and hurt in a way. Like in first grade when they crowded around me and started teasing me, the other kids, and telling me diabetes could kill you and that you shouldn't, and that why did you choose to have it? That's how I feel hurt. And another emotion, like scared and sad, I wish I could be like the others, and I wish I didn't have to deal with it, and I don't like dealing with it. And happy because sometimes for a few minutes I forget about it.
Dealing with it takes a team.
And we're gonna come right back in here.
That room?
Mm-hmm. Right in here. And let's go ahead and stand right there, feet all the way back.
Keeping Gabrielle's blood sugars leveled and her diet and social life healthy are all crucial,
In my blood
which is
sugar
why
pressure.
she sees a team of doctors at least once every 3 months.
Hey, how are you guys today?
What they all have shown over the years is diabetes as a complex disease. It's not just take a medicine and you'll be better type of disease. Child with diabetes needs educators. We call them diabetes educators who teach them on day-to-day mechanics of diabetes, like how to test, how to inject, how to adjust insulins, what to do when you're sick and what to do when you travel.
Diabetes doesn't run in Gabrielle's family. In fact, type 1 diabetes is not an inherited disease. Its victims are usually children and young adults. For Gabrielle's family, this disease doesn't stop at the doctor's office. Every 3 days, Gabrielle's mom has to add new insulin to her pump.
Ready?
Oh my gosh!
1, 2, 3.
Gosh!
It's difficult in the sense of, you know, your child is attached to this machine, but that pump is like her pancreas. I mean, she doesn't have the capability of producing insulin, so I look at it and say, okay, that's her pancreas right there with her insulin in it.
This is a harpoon. Prepare to die.
Stop.
I'd like you to hold my skin so I feel reassuring.
Okay, I'm pinching it. Is that good enough?
Yes!
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh! I felt it!
I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up the needle. Don't move, please.
Dearly.
This does. Oh, where do I put that needle?
I wish my mom, my dad, my sister, and some of my friends would get one day with diabetes. One day. So they'd know what it was like and they'd know what I felt. And at the end of the day, they'd think, wow, imagine having that all day.
I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out prayers that by the time she's 20 to 25, they'll find some kind of cure for this thing.
Gabrielle has been wonderful with this so far. It would be great someday if there's a cure. I know it's going to be a long time coming, but there's promise in the future for a cure.
What makes her special is she's kind, nice, and she's my best friend.
Hi, my name is Jordan, and I have type 1 diabetes. When I was first diagnosed, I was kind of scared, but after a few days, I understood what I had to do. Managing your numbers, it isn't easy, but when you do get through it, you feel a lot better. This is my injection pump, and it's easy to manage. Change it every 3 days. Sometimes it does hurt, but most of the time it doesn't. It doesn't stop you from playing what you want to play. For instance, I play basketball, and one of the favorite things I like to do. My family, they're a big support, and my little brother, he understands. The only thing that I have to do more is watch what I eat and my numbers, and once I do that, I'm fine and I feel normal just like everyone else.
1 out of every 12 people in our society have diabetes. 1 out of every 4 people in America right now has pre-diabetes.
Diabetes is growing, and at an alarming rate. So alarming, the nation's top diabetes watchdog came to Sacramento to drive the point home.
Diabetes is serious because it's a silent killer. People don't always know they have this disease, and they don't. When they hear about diabetes, they don't understand the seriousness of this disease.
When I was first diagnosed with diabetes back in 1999, I was in very good physical condition and feeling healthy.
Ronald Bass is living with type 2 diabetes.
I had some problems one morning trying to get my vision to focus, and that was an enlightening wake-up call. Diabetes for me has meant a radical lifestyle change, and it has gotten to the point now it's no longer a chore. In the beginning it was a big chore and it was a lot of work. At times I didn't think I could do it.
For Ronald and others living with diabetes, managing the disease boils down to diet.
I love food. I love food. I have a passion for food.
Keeping close tabs on the carbs they eat and the beverages they drink is the most important job for a diabetic. Oftentimes people think diabetics should simply avoid sugar, but it's more than that. It's carbohydrates that need to be counted because they produce the most sugar.
When you're looking at things like the diet drinks, typically they don't have any carbohydrates. But when you're looking at things like sugar-free cookies, sugar-free ice cream, a lot of those still have carbohydrates in it. And people get off thinking that they can eat these things as much as they want and their blood sugars is still staying the same. And they're really not.
Emmy Manano is a registered dietitian. She breaks down the difference between good carbs and bad carbs.
You've got your 2 breads that are 60, you've got or 30, your milk that's 15 and another 15. Now you've got 60 grams of carbohydrate here. Our hamburger is not going to be counted. Or you've got 60 grams of carbohydrate here. How do you want to spend it?
Being diagnosed with diabetes can be the healthiest thing someone has ever had, because they are now very inspired to change their life.
Diabetes is a disease that prevents the body from properly producing insulin. You're not born with diabetes, you develop it in life.
Insulin is like a key that opens the cells in our body to allow blood glucose, which is sugar, to go from our blood into our cells to feed our cells and keep our cells alive. Without the sugar going into the cells, our cells starve to death. Without insulin to open up the channels to allow the sugar to go into the cells, not only do our cells not have enough food inside them, but the blood glucose level in our body goes up. And as the blood glucose level goes up, it causes damage to the inside of the arteries. In the past, we have classified diabetes in 2 ways: juvenile diabetes or adult diabetes. But we now know that diabetes is really fundamentally falls into 2 categories: type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes.
And both are different. A person diagnosed with type 1 diabetes needs insulin injections and sugar levels need to be checked constantly. A person diagnosed with type 2 often controls the disease through medication, sometimes combined with insulin.
Type 1 diabetes is a type of diabetes where the fundamental problem is that not enough insulin is produced by the pancreas. It's an autoimmune disease. Type 2 diabetes is a diabetes where something goes wrong with the way insulin works.
So, if both type 1 and type 2 revolve around a patient's blood sugar level, then what level means you are diabetic?
A normal reading of a blood glucose level for somebody who doesn't have any diabetes at all, doesn't even have pre-diabetes, is have their fasting blood glucose level less than 100. The diagnosis of diabetes is made when somebody has a blood sugar reading over 125.
And the alarm is sounding on another threat: prediabetes. According to the California Department of Health, an estimated 42 million people nationwide are prediabetic, and they don't even know it. The rest of the numbers are just as staggering. In 2003, 18.2 million people had diabetes. In 2005, that number jumped to 20.8 million people. And in 2008, more than 24 million people had diabetes. Of all Americans diagnosed, only 5 to 10% have type 1 diabetes. 85 to 95% of diabetics are type 2. Pregnant women face an increased risk. 4% have been diagnosed with gestational diabetes.
We know there is an incredible epidemic going on. There is a sudden, serious increase in the number of diabetes cases, especially over the last 10 to 20 years.
In California, 7.8% of the population, or more than 2 million people, have diabetes. All 58 counties in California have been hit by the epidemic on some level or another, but certain counties are showing an excessive number of cases. Tulare County has the highest percentage of diabetes in the state. More than 11% of the population has been diagnosed. Sutter County is also one of the worst in the state, with more than 10% of its population carrying the disease. And on average, other counties throughout our region are nearly as high, with 5 to 9% of the population diagnosed with diabetes.
There are a variety of different ethnic groups that have an increased risk of diabetes. African Americans have an increased risk, Hispanic Americans have an increased risk, Native Americans, and many Asian communities have an increased risk of diabetes.
And it varies from county to county. In Yuba, Amador, and Sutter counties, Asian Americans top the list of diabetes sufferers.
African Americans score higher in Sacramento, Yolo, Placer, and San Joaquin counties, while in Stanislaus County, Latinos have the highest rate of diabetes. So what triggers this disease? Some of the factors include eating fast food, large portion sizes, lack of exercise, and the biggest risk, obesity.
As the epidemic of diabetes has started to occur, it has occurred at the exact same time that the rise in obesity has been going on in this country. So clearly the two of them are related. It's not the fat that's around our hips, our legs, or our arms that's the problem, but it's the fat deposit around our abdomen that seems to be causing our problems. If we can reduce even a small amount of the fat in our abdominal region, cut a couple inches off our waist, we can dramatically decrease our risk of diabetes.
Also, as our population ages, the disease becomes even more prevalent. If you are at least 45 years old and overweight or obese, doctors say you should be tested now. Symptoms of diabetes include fatigue, depression, lack of energy, blurry vision, increased thirst, and frequent urination. But it's also important to note that most people do not have any symptoms when they develop the disease.
Diabetes can have some deadly consequences, from heart attack to stroke to blindness to kidney failure to nerve damage to amputations. But people aren't aware of that because when they look at someone with diabetes, that person looks fine.
Hi, my name is Ricky. I'm from Sacramento, California. I have type 2 diabetes, and I was diagnosed in Canada on vacation. I was drinking tons of water and going to the restroom very frequently. So when I came back, went to the doctor, and they told me I had diabetes, and I was kind of scared. But after I went back to the doctor and found out all the details of diabetes, I came to grips with it, and now I'm controlling it by exercise, medication, and diet. The main part is just knowing your body and just taking control of your own health, because you can live a long, healthy life with diabetes.
We and other labs have very successfully shown that we can take findings from genetically engineered mice and extrapolate these findings to humans and identify targets which could be used to treat obesity and type 2 diabetes.
Dr. Fawaz Hodge believes he's on the brink of a medical breakthrough. Here at the Department of Nutrition, he's hired a staff of 3. Together, they spend long hours studying mice. Why mice? Because humans and mice share about 99% of the same genes. The team is exploring how to regulate insulin. They've discovered that removing a particular cell from a mouse causes the mouse to produce insulin. But what's unclear is where in the body that insulin is being produced.
Does it work in the muscle, in the liver, in the pancreas, and the fat, which are the main effectively the main insulin responsive tissues in rodents, in primates, and in humans.
Another part of his job is to raise awareness about the severity of diabetes in our community. But he's not the only one. Vision Service Plan is also helping to draw attention to this disease.
Vision care is really one of the first areas that diabetes can be identified. And when you get a comprehensive eye exam and a doctor looks into a dilated eye, they can see up to 8 years in advance whether or not somebody has the early signs of being a diabetic.
My grandmother died of type 2 diabetes complications. A number of my immediate family are suffering now from type 2 diabetes.
This is a disease that you can beat. And, I do encourage anybody who has this disease to, tackle it head on and don't run from it like I did.
I think it's brought us all closer together in a sense.
The people who are living it and really, pull together and, as far as trying to survive and cope day to day, it's very powerful.
I'm optimistic that in my lifetime there could be a cure for this disease. I'm looking forward to it.
As for Gabrielle, the little girl living with type 1 diabetes, she takes great comfort in knowing that she doesn't have to face this disease alone.
I go to a walk every year, the JDRF walk. It it fundraises enough money, and I have a team. And my team is called Gabrielle's Guardian Angels, and we wear this shirt every year. Last year we had 40 people come to the walk. Friends, family, school aides, people who just really cared. And more people wanted to donate money, and we raised at least $5,000 this year.
One of the other fun parts about it is the walk. It's a good thing because it raises money to help diabetes and to find a cure, and someday I hope it comes.
Diabetes can be deadly, but by managing the disease with a positive attitude, help from a lot of family, friends, and support groups, you can certainly live a long, happy, and healthy life. And I certainly intend to be one of those. I'm confident there will someday be a cure. I'm Jerry Reynolds. Thank you for watching.
In 6 months, we'll see you, episode 3 and 4, at Hilton Head Island. Signing off with Gabrielle and
Aloha.
Aloha and mahalo.
To order a DVD copy of this program, call 888-814-3923 or visit kvie.org/viewfinder.
Presentation of this ViewFinder episode is locally supported by UC Davis Health System.